Hello there. I am Carol Crafty Grandma, and today this is part 2 of the Splitting Hairs Table Runner. It's from a book called Quilts You Can Make in a Day. Based on what I'm looking at, we're probably going to need a part 3 for this, but I'm not certain. We'll have to see how well today goes. In part 1, we cut all the pieces as directed by our book, and we got the first. We got a sample square stitched up to make sure it came out to 5.5 inches, like it's supposed to. And then we did one color attached to the white, and today we're going to finish up doing the second color to the white. And then we're going to put them up on our design wall and see where we want them to sit and which directions we want them to go, so that we don't have too many of the same colors right next to each other and stuff like that. And then the next step after we do that is to take all of the remaining strips, which there are a lot of, and attach them to a rectangle. Oh, we're going to attach them to these. So after we figure out where all the squares are going to go, we're going to attach one of these to these. Like I said, probably get through most of that today, because when it comes to putting all the little corner blocks, which are 1.5 inches square, so they finish to 1 inch square, it's going to take some time to get all of these attached. So we're going to go back to the sewing machine and get sewing. So in part 1, we attached all of these together and we chain pieced them. And we're going to do the exact same thing now. But my stack is upside down because I put them in the order we are now doing it upside down. Or starting at the bottom, I guess I should say, of the chain, and going back the other direction. Alrighty. Oh, where's my feeder fabric? There you, no? There it is. Stop in needle down position. That's better. Okay, now we can sew. Take this, turn it right side up. Go. Come on. on, silly things. Maybe I should have pressed them all first. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to cut this chain here. That's the next one that we start with. All right, you two hang out over here for a minute. I'm going to need that starter fabric again. You guys are all coming with me. All right. Oh. That didn't work out so well, did it? There we go. That's better. Okay, so I'm having issues with the fabric staying open so that I can attach the second piece. So I am going to press all of these in the opposite direction so that we have an easier time attaching the second piece. All right. So we press it closed, and then we open up the dark piece of fabric and press it all the way open. And we move on to the next one. Get multiples done, that would be cool. Okay. Press them open. Okay. That way. That way. closed. Press them open. Keep your finger away from the plate. It gets hot. All right, last two. All right, now we'll go back to the sewing machine. Hopefully this will be a little bit easier this time. All right, so now a little bit of starter fabric. And we take our colored fabric, patterned fabric, whatever you want to call it, and match it up to the white, and there we go. Now, of course, you do not have to chain piece, and as I mentioned in part 1, I did a little sample on the wall before I put these together so that I knew that I liked the way they went together. You do not have to do that. You can just be random. I have issues with being random. I like to make sure things are matched up at least a little bit, or at least they don't have, that way the same pattern's not next to each other, or color or something like that. If you can do that randomly, feel free. Come on, fabric. There we go. Just wants to stick together a little bit. I don't know why. And I've mentioned this multiple times, but just in case it's first time visiting me, if you want to use pins to do this, go for it. Pinning is never a bad thing. I was an extreme pinner when I started. I pinned everything like every inch or so, probably more than every inch. I pinned everything. And especially since we're using the jelly roll fabric that has a scalloped edge to it, you want to match up the straight edge of the white fabric with the inside edge of the scallop. Almost there. Last one. Woohoo! Back over to the table we go. All right, so now we don't care what order they're in. because everybody's been attached to everything, so we're good there. So I am going to take my little snippy scissors and unattach them. Being careful not to cut the fabric, just the threads. All right. Get that out of the way. I might still need it, but we can recover it then. All right, so now we have all of these that have been pressed to one side, and now we have to press them all to the other side. And I could have kept them together for the pressing. I didn't have to cut them apart. But it really doesn't make any difference one way or the other. That's pressed. That way. That one wasn't very well pressed to begin with. All right, and then that one. There we go. All right, let's line up 4 or 5 of them and start pressing. Oh yeah, those last 2 weren't pressed at all. Now that I think about it, because they were not part of the chain. So let's get these pressed initially. There we go. Now we can press this way. That just keeps making noises, bothering me. Hopefully you weren't hearing it on the microphone. Alright. Come here. There's 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. That's what I thought. Just had to make sure. Alright, 5. I don't have to count, I know. There we are. That's very red, white, and blue. And this one's gonna go that way. And I don't know about you, but I can already see a problem. That pattern and color and that one are exactly the same, and so is this one. That pattern and that pattern are exactly the same. I don't like those next to each other like that. Up and down we go. All right, and now 4 more. So I always feel bad for the one on the end. They never get pressed quite as much because you do this and then you forget as these are going along, I'm pushing them up and tightening up the seam so the iron is sitting on the one before longer. And I always feel like that last one gets the short end of the stick, so to say. That is exactly the same as that square. Those 2 squares are identical. I don't know how I'd manage that one, but I did. Okay, last 4. No, I didn't do it exactly the same that time. Let it sit there for a minute. I'll get some water. That'll force me to let it sit there for a minute. Okay. Let's move that out of the way. And here we go. Okay. So here's where I get a little weird. It's totally up to you. If it's not your thing, don't worry about it. These 2 cannot be next to each other for me. That does not make me happy. These 2 cannot be next to each other. Again, just my preference. Those 2 cannot be that close to each other. Those 2 cannot be next to each other. Now, let's get over here. I would prefer this was somewhere over here. I'm not crazy about these 2 being right next to each other, but I'm not going to fuss right now. I'm thinking it's not that bad. That is not going to work. Now I've got these right near each other, but it may not be as bad as I'm thinking it is. Now, yes, let's go there. No, 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 no. I am seeing issues with my concerns. I'm not certain which way to solve, how to solve this problem. Let's do this. That should take care of that little bit there. Now they are still, those are very close and those are very close, but I'm thinking I'm okay with it. Those are right next to each other. I don't really want to reverse them. If I move this one, those will be right next to each other. That won't work. Let's see here. What if I do this? There, that makes me happier. All right, let's step back. See from your angle what it looks like. I'm seeing a lot of the pink circles in the middle. Let's move the pink circle over and replace it with a yellow circle. Now the yellows are right next to each other, so I'm wondering if they're gonna pop out weird. If I do that, and I don't like that either. That might not be too bad. Now, I do have to keep in mind something. And so I'm going to probably stop at this point because there are going to be white pieces of sashing in between all of these. And there's going to be cornerstones of the different colors. So they're not going to be right next to each other. They're going to have, and I can make sure that I put in a pop of color at some point. So, okay, let's go with this layout. And it says, to sew a B rectangle. Oh, sorry, I did all of that already. Did 24 blocks. That was the first step. Join 3 split blocks with 4 B rectangles to make a vertical X. Join 3 split blocks. That's what these are. These are called split blocks. With 4 B rectangles to make a vertical X. Oh, so we're going to put these 3 together, then these 3, then these 3, using our white sashing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right. So we're going to put the strip sashing in between each of these. So I'm going to go like this, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to take 2 of these and head over to the sewing machine. All right, so this is on the top, this is in the middle, and this is on the bottom. So this is how they're going to be laying. So I'm going to put this on here. This has got a nice cut edge on it, and I need my feeder fabric. Where'd it go? nice and straight, squared up. Okay, next. So now this one is matched up to this. Come on. So that's the first two. Now let's get the bottom of this. All right, and last but not least, and I like to use the straight white of the white fabric of the sashing as my guide for my presser foot, because we know that we typically cut it straight, and sometimes blocks as they get built together get a little wonky. So I like to have the white sashing strip on the top so that I can make sure that I'm doing as straight a line as I can. Okay. Yes, I did forget to use feeder fabric on one of my seams. I don't know where my brain was. It just wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. All right, back to here. So here's something, I'm going to go to this camera. So here's something that I'm going to do just a little bit differently. We normally press to the darker fabric, which is what we did here. So we've got the white strip in the middle. But here, on this seam, we have two seams crossing it already. So on that point, I am going to press towards the white. But where it's dark, I'm going to still press towards the dark. Where I have a dark strip that I can press to with no seams, I am going to press in that direction. Goes there. Haven't pressed that seam yet. Okay. this way. All right. Let's get it all nice and tight. Make sure our seams are all pressed really well. Use a little best press just to make sure we've got it pressed down. And we have our first set of 3 complete. All right. You're going to have to give me just a moment. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I apologize for stepping away. There's been some issues in the family, and it was a phone call that I just didn't feel I could avoid. So, everything's fine though. Don't worry about it. Everything's good. Thank you. Everything's fine. It was just, I apologize for stepping away. We'll get right back to this. Okay, so we did our first strip of 3. We're gonna do 8 more. So let's go. Well, no, 7 more. There's a total of 8. That was dumb. 7 more. All right. So square number 1 gets a nice strip on the bottom. See? Feeder fabric. I mean, it's not terribly vital that you always have feeder fabric. It's just you start stitching in a little bit. So it's just so you can have your seam all the way to the edge. All right, now we're going to go this way. Like I said with the first one, I like to use the edge of the sashing for my sewing. That way my presser foot has a straight line to follow. Okay, so these are our first two. Now I need the next piece of sashing. Last block. Alrighty. Alright, so we're going to go to the there we are. Dark fabric. Go to the white strip because we have seams on the other. Alright, lay it out, make sure we're all sharp at the seams. And I am giving it just a bit of a tug on the end after I get the iron on it. That way I've got the seams pulled out so they're nice and sharp. And keep in mind, we have to match these strips up to each other eventually. So we need them to all be consistent in size. If we have any size issues, it's going to show up when we match everything together. And that gets very unpleasant if you have size issues. All right, now I don't remember which one was the top and which one was the bottom here. I'm going to go with that because it wouldn't look right the other way. Just a little bit further apart. There we go. So you're starting to see how it's taking shape. And like I said, we're going to have these little cornerstones popped in here. That's going to give us a different color. Now, I wouldn't use that one there because that's going to be the same, but I would consider, where's one of my light yellows? So even though those two patterns are the same, just in different colors, that's the same pattern, which I'm sure you cannot tell from there, but it is the same pattern, just a different color. So that's where we're headed. All right, let's do strip number 3. And if you're wondering why I'm not doing all the strips at once, it is because I do not want to get them mixed up. If you have a brain that works quicker than mine, that would allow you to keep track of which ones go where, go for it. I know myself. I would get them mixed up and then get upset with myself because I wouldn't know the order they're supposed to be in. The other thing, I guess, if you did it where you just made all these and you didn't care about the order or anything like that, which is a perfectly acceptable option, then it wouldn't matter and you wouldn't have to take the time that I am to go back and forth. This, so we're going to go there. Alrighty. There we go. Nope. Beater fabric. right, and last but certainly not least, okay. You know, considering how long this is taking, we might have to make this a 4-part series. Because I know when we get to the next step, which is to make the sashing with the little cornerstones, it's going to take quite a while to get those little baby cornerstones sewed on. Especially considering I like to make sure they go in the right spot. All right, we're going to go that way. Okay. There we are. All right. So I'm tugging just a bit, just to tighten up this whole strip. Making sure we're all pressed and sharp. Sharply pressed. Something like that. Little bit of best press. Not a lot, just a little bit. All right, now let's see. Can I figure out? I think I can. Yep, those are going to go that way. No. Well, did I really do that? Apparently I did. No, I don't like that. I don't like those two darks together, so it must have been this way. All right, there we go. I don't remember. I should have taken a picture of it. That's what I normally do. I take a picture so I know what it's going to look like, but no such luck this time. I forgot. All right, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Starter fabric. This goes on the bottom. Now, this goes that way. Get out! Alrighty. Now this goes on here. I don't want to mess that up, so let's set that down there. There's that one. Okay, and now the last one goes like that. Let's cut off our feeder fabric. And go get this one pressed up. There we go. All right. To the dark fabric. I have to show you this. Bring this around. Get it set up. Oh, I think she's going to move on me. It's a tough life for kitty cats in our house. She's really suffering there, can't you tell? Now she's looking at me like, how dare you take a picture of me? All right, now this one goes this way. And this one goes this way. And now, a little bit of stretching. A little bit of best press. Remember, it's a little bit when it comes to the best press. You don't want a ton of it on there. This one I remember which way it went. That's a little close. There we go. That way we'll be able to put in our cornerstone samples. All right, halfway done. One and two. All right. There we go. Seems to be better off to the side over there instead of on my table. I know that means you can't see it, sadly, but that way it's out of the way. Oh. And there's no chance of it getting pushed around or flipped sides. Okay. Now the next one. This one that way. I'm going to put a little pin in this one. Actually, I'm going to put a big pin in this one. That way I know it's the top. was going to try and remember it by green and yellow, but they're both green and yellow, so that wasn't going to work. Sashing. Last piece on the bottom. And to the pressing. All right. Pressing. Colored piece. Now to the white sashing. Now, all right, next one. All right, let's see here. Oh, forgot the sashing. 1 and 2. All right, that's the top. All right, let's see here. All centered away. Of our feeder thread, and I think it's run its course. There we go. Whew, only 2 more left. After this one, I should say. All right. Alrighty, get that nice and sharp. Pull it all straight. And when I say pull, I'm not like yanking really hard, just a gentle nut, just to make sure those seams are lying all flat. Okay. And you're going to go there. Pin in the top. 2 more pieces of sashing. And wonderful. There's 2 left, exactly what there should be. Back to the sewing machine. Oh, water. Okay. There. That's that. Come on. There we go. right, we're back. A little chapstick here. There we go. What are we beeping about? Nothing much. All right. There's the top. Go. We are almost there, folks. We are getting there. So close. Okay. Here we go. And now our last threesome. With our 2 strips. Top, middle, bottom. Knew I forgot to do something before I started lining it all up and getting it all even. There we go. All right. right. One, two, three. So here we go. Let's press that up. Little bit of tightening. And last but certainly not least, best press. Right. Go there. Get that pin out of there. Put the pin back with the other pins so it doesn't get lost or fall on the floor or whatever else might happen to it. I messed up. I'm supposed to put the ones on the top and the bottom also, not just in the middle. All right, so we know what we're going to do on part 3, the beginning of part 3. Part 3, we're going to start with putting strips on the tops and the bottoms of all of those. That I will probably do chain piecing. I will just go all the way across and all the way across the bottom. Step 1 to make 4 Y rows. And then after we do that, after we put the strips across the top and the strips across the bottom, then we're going to make our little cornerstone and sashing pieces. So we're going to make a bunch of those and then put everything together and then put on our border. So yeah, we're going to need four parts to this. So I will be posting out the next 2 parts probably later this week, and we will get this all taken care of. But don't forget to like, subscribe, thumbs up, you know, all that good stuff, so that you can be reminded whenever I'm on. And I will see you all next time. Have a fabulous